David Adams Podcast. D.A.P. The Perspective.
Please do me the favor, share, like, and while you have the chance, we have a minute and some change. If you can do me the favor, just go ahead and press follow on this page. If you could, do me the favor. For those who don't mind chiming in and being a part of and engaging with the D.A.P show, if you can go over to YouTube and go ahead and press subscribe on YouTube. If you can help me get my subscription up, I appreciate it. It's free right now. It's free, but who knows? In the near future, it may cost. So be a part of being grandfathered into the D.A.P. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Blessings. You see the topic? Yeah, we're basically going to be talking about egg freezing. Egg freezing. Yes, indeed. What's that all about? Egg freezing. Good morning. Peace and blessings to the good energy people. Much love and respect. Thank you for tuning in. I truly appreciate it. Once again, could you please like, share the page? Could you please follow on this page? Go over to YouTube once again and press subscribe. Much love. Well, just came across a little something I was talking to somebody about egg freezing, and they had mentioned that they would like to possibly do that themselves, and I think that America, or possibly the world, is trying their best to push this, not because of only health issues and health problems, because originally the egg freezing started out dealing with people who possibly have cancer or some type of illness, and they would go ahead and do the egg freezing because of that reason. You would have people that was in the military, and women wanted to get pregnant, but because they had certain duties in the military, they needed to go ahead and gave them the opportunity to go ahead and freeze their eggs, so when they finish their duty or whatever the case may be, they can still have their children a year later or so, 2 years later or so, 3 years later or so. They have it now to where you can actually freeze your eggs up to 10 years. 10 years. Yeah. So now it's becoming to the point where women are wanting to freeze their eggs just because. Families are budding, but the career women and career men figured, let's put it off because you're trying to get to that ceiling or past the ceiling at your company. You're career driven, so having children have been put on the back burner. Okay, so a woman may be 32, 33, and she figure, I haven't made that mark of $215,000 a year yet. So I want to make that mark. Plus, I want to get in a certain position in my company. And having a baby won't allow me to do that. So let's consider having our eggs frozen. Now, they actually promote this big time. They put a lot of marketing monies behind the idea of freezing embryos, freezing the eggs. Okay? They put a lot of marketing money behind that. It's becoming now not even a thing of medical conditions of why a person couldn't have a child at that moment because of medical conditions. That's not even the case now. It's becoming popular to the point where, like I said, the average person want to just be free. You know, you got young women that's 22. I ain't having no kids now. I want to have my fun. I don't want to take no patch. I'm not trying to take no pills. I'm not trying to do none of that. Why don't I just freeze my eggs? Because they've seen it. It's being marketed. They're making it seem like it's a great thing to do and get away from the traditional mindset of actually having children. Do you think that's a bad thing or a good thing? So here, I watched this little clip right here, about 4 minutes or so. And just to give you a little take on it. Let's see. Give me 1 minute. One minute. As a matter of fact, give me 2 minutes, a little more. Give me 1 minute. Put you on hold for a minute. Do me a favor and go ahead and like the page, follow the page if you could, and also subscribe on YouTube. Give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. All right. Here we go. This is a video I just saw a little while ago, and I wanted you to just take a look with me about the egg freezing.
The biological clock, no doubt about it. But a new study shows many of them wish they could turn back the clock. Almost half the women regretted their decision to freeze their eggs in this study out of the University of California, San Francisco's egg freezing clinic. They surveyed thousands of clients between 2012 and 2016. Interviews took place on average 2 years after the freezing. 89% of the women said they thought they'd be glad they froze their eggs, even if they never used them to conceive a child. But it turned out a lot less, where 49% of the women didn't fully approve of their decision. So half.
Wow, that's a lot. So for those young women who are thinking about doing this, he actually said half of those who, now these are women who actually didn't have any issues as far as medical. These are women who didn't have no type of problems. They just wanted to do it and try it and see what it's all about. I believe they probably was paid. You know what I mean? They probably was paid at the time, but half of them actually regretted it.
Mm-hmm. Half looked back in time and said, you know what? Maybe I wouldn't have done
this. Are you
this.
surprised by this?
I am, and honestly, the individuals who collected the surveys, according to the information we have thus far, they were surprised as well. And they said it had to do with the amount of emotional support, maybe the amount of information that they got before doing the procedure, and also it depended upon how many eggs were retrieved. So individuals who had a higher number of eggs retrieved had a higher level of satisfaction compared to those who had a lower level of eggs retrieved. And we know it's really expensive. It's like $10,000 to $12,000 per cycle. It can even be more. $800 a year for egg storage, around that amount. So it's not.
That's a lot of pressure too.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So as you can see, it's actually a big money thing with these doctors. It's a big money thing. It's easy. I actually saw a situation where a lot of the egg freezing has gone wrong. There was a lady who had put her eggs in a place in university. She wanted to have the babies, which I think she had a little problem, a little, with her ovaries or whatever the case may be. And they placed those embryos or those eggs in a spot in the university. And for some reason, a day later or whatever the case may be, there was nobody there to monitor them. So the container where they had the eggs were, where they had the eggs, they usually have an alarm that goes off that you know that it's getting warm. And there was no one there at the time to check when those eggs started defrosting, I should say, And lo and behold, they came in the next day and it was a wrap. There was the eggs was not saved. Yeah, so she basically sued them. So those are some of the situations that can go left, and there are many, many more that they never really talk about, they never really promote, they never push it out, because they want you to think that this is a 100% proof until you get down and sit down and talk with them with consultation and everything, and then they let you know right away this is not 100%. If you have 50 eggs, you have a better chance of having one. If you have 30 eggs, you have a better chance of having one. Maybe if you have 50, you might have 3. But if you have 16, you gotta, it's half. It's 30% or this percent. You know what I mean? So you got to be careful for the young ladies who have that career mentality right now. Speaking to the man as well, you might want to be an assistant and helping your wife decide this situation, because a lot of women are deciding this on the strength of what they see in the media as if this is a good thing versus having it traditional. So you might want to look into this really deep, because it could go wrong. All right, it could go wrong. Just think about a piece of meat that you put in the freezer and it freezes for a long period of time, and then you want to take it out to eat it, and then when you take it out to eat it, you think that it's all good, but it has this certain feel or taste that is not right. It's a possibility that can happen also with those eggs being frozen. I don't know the actual details of what they put in there and how they do it and how it happens, but I know that it's not natural. It's definitely not natural. You know what I mean? I think you have a better chance of doing it natural, especially if you're in your 20s. But if you just want to be free, you just want to be, do you want to hump whoever you want to hump at this time, because you feel like you ain't finding the right person, all that good stuff, and you ain't really concerned about finding the right person. You just want to have fun in your 20s. And then you also want to have a career in your 30s, and you might want to say, you know what? I saw this commercial. It seemed a little good. I saw this documentary. I think I can do this too. And there were a lot of people, if you look into it, really was disappointed. Yeah.
I can't imagine. I mean, if you're a woman and you have your eggs frozen and it's $800 a year to store them. What a difficult decision too. When do you get to a point where you say, you know what? Destroy these eggs? That's a tough emotional place to be, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, I can imagine so, absolutely.
And I mean, is that part of maybe why these women not regretted it, but maybe they wish they'd had more information? Because wasn't that another part of it? Some women felt like they didn't have all the information when they went into it.
Right, but I think this is, it's eye-opening, and I think we have to have a bigger conversation around this, because it is becoming more mainstream, more people are doing it, so we really need to take a look at what will make sure, or what will increase the probability that women will be happy with their decision in the future.
Well, this has always been one of my problems. The costs are prohibitive for so many women, and I do worry that this has become an industry driven a lot by the mighty dollar. Because I have to ask the question.
Yeah, that's the key. That's exactly what it is.
How can it cost?
That's exactly what it is. It's about that paper.
I understand the retrieval process.
It's definitely about that paper. You know what I mean? About that paper. Some of these doctors, I mean, they got yachts, man. They got yachts for everybody in the family. You know, that's how big this thing is and how much money they can make. So of course they're gonna promote it to whereas, you know, this is the best thing since sliced bread. You know, yeah, they want this modern situation to go over people's heads and forget about traditional ways of doing things. Yeah.
But how does it cost $800 a year to keep something in a freezer? I'm asking. I'm not blaming anyone, but I have to ask that question because that's prohibitive for so many women. I love the technology. I'm so glad that women have choices and can really take control. But how does it really cost that much? I don't know. This could be that could actually be very cheap compared to what the administrative costs are. I'm not blaming anyone.
Now this video was like 4 years ago. I can imagine that it's way more than what he's talking about. I can imagine it's way more. Yeah.
I'm just saying that most people aren't going to be able to just fork over almost $1,000 a year to keep something in a freezer. And I'm not trying to make light of it, but until there's downward cost pressure, I can see women having regrets. That's just my thought.
I agree with you.
I don't think they're just having regrets as far as the money is concerned. That's not the case. I don't think they just having regrets because of the money. I think there's other situations they're not even going to discuss because it's very touching. It's a very sentimental situation. You know what I mean? So this is why they're really not touching on that. Trust and believe that. Yeah.
I would love to see the technology be available for more women, and I would love for cost not to be a contributing factor when women are saying, should I do this or should I not do this? But we really do need to get more information because the fact that about half of these women regret freezing their eggs, and these were women who did it electively. They didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, there was nothing going on. There was nothing going on with them. They just wanted to do it. Yeah, they elected themselves. Yeah. Let that sink in.
Do it because of cancer or anything like that. They just electively wanted to freeze their eggs. So the fact that they regret cancer or anything like that, it electively, they didn't do it because of cancer or anything like that. They just electively wanted to freeze their eggs. So the fact that they regret it a couple of years later tells us that we need to look
It
deeper.
highlights something in medicine I think we all know to be true.
I guarantee you some of them was like, you know, yeah, I'm down. I ain't trying to have no kids anyway. You know what I mean? Hot girl summer. We're talking about all nationalities. We're not just talking about, you know, don't think I'm just talking about our people. We're talking about all nationalities. Philippine, you know what I mean? White, Caucasian, Spanish, Arab, Indian, all of them, everyone. They got everybody in this bag, in this melting pot, and influenced and convinced these people to want to do this. Yeah.
You go into a decision completely transparent, you know everything, you're going to feel better about that decision. As in any decision in life, anything you're going to do, in the case of medicine, know exactly what you're getting into before you make the decision so you don't have regrets later.
Yeah, a serious situation right there. Shout out to the doctors. Shout out to the doctors. Yeah, that's a serious situation right there. Just giving you a little information, man, and something you might can go on for those who is seriously possibly thinking about doing this. You know what I mean? You really have to make sure you dot all your I's and cross all your T's. This is something serious. It's not no game, and you may regret it. Like half of those women who regret it, they started out with testing and trying out 89%. And in that number, 49% regretted it. They never gave you the details of why they regretted it, though. That's what you got to look at, all right? And trust me, it's not all because of money, because it was so much money. Nah, I do not believe that. Totally don't believe that. All right. There was one woman who said there's a lot of side effects that had happened with her doing the process. A lot of side effects. I can imagine how some of the husbands feel when it comes to their wife or wanting to back their wives and to, you know what? Yeah, let's do this because she's so eager to have a career and don't want the babies in the way. They look at it like they in the way. I'm 30, I'm grooving, I'm rocking, I'm getting this paper, the American dream. And I can imagine him backing her and then regretting the fact that he didn't say, look, babe, no, let's not do that. Let's do it the right way. Even if you have to take off from your job for 3 years, whatever the case may be, for 2 years, whatever the case may be, I can imagine him regretting the idea of allowing her to do that because she wanted to do it so bad. So, to the men who are looking to have a family, you have to really sit down and consider that and probably take lead. Take lead and be like, nah, I don't think we should do that. You know what I mean? I don't think we should do that. That's, mess around and we go 5 years, 6 years, 10 years later, and you got 15 eggs and you be ready to have the baby and bang, can't do it. Something went wrong. Those eggs not good enough. And now you're 38. Now you're 40. And we can't do it naturally. Nah, that's not a good feeling. Not a good feeling. Yeah, so really consider that. All right.
Hello, this is Eugene. I'm a 32-year-old single management consultant based in the United States. Today, let's talk about my experience with egg freezing. I froze my eggs at 30. Skip ahead to section that speaks most to you. Let me break down this question. I decided to freeze my eggs because I was curious and I was really struggling with dating. Do you remember those targeted ads? I remember the one I saw in college was an Asian girl looking outside a car. Her hair was flying everywhere. She's looking outside hopeful, and on the top it read, "Sell your eggs, travel the world." I had no intention of selling my eggs, but a sense of freedom, security, and free spirit always kind of lingered. Dating is rough.
Look at that. Free spirit. A sense of this and that. Basically, I want to be free. Listen to this just for a little bit, y'all.
I also don't believe in sex before marriage, so modern dating is tricky. On top of dating app, I have matchmakers. One thing I noticed was that matchmakers in the US always asked me whether I had my eggs frozen and at what age. With no potential match in sight, and to give myself peace of mind, I decided to give egg freezing a shot. The clinic I work with also had an amazing track record. My younger sister is in New York City, and the clinic was 5 minutes walking distance from her place. At 30, I was my healthiest self. My skin was glowing, my body fat percentage was 18%. Work-wise, I was working remotely, which meant that I could make my own food at home. Life was great. If not now, when?
Which is a good thing because her body was right, her mind was right. She was in a good physical health, and she was able to have a child then at that time. But she wanted to be free. She wanted to do this and do that in her 20s or whatever the case may be. Possibly, I don't know if it's 30s or whatever. Yeah.
Let's do it. Here is a high-level 5-part process. Even though injecting hormones is 2 weeks long, note that the entire egg freezing journey will likely take anywhere between 3 and 6 months. Finding a clinic was straightforward. What I struggled with more was booking my first appointments. No one really told me this. Make a note of holidays and beginning of the year. They tend to be the busiest time. I guess everyone wants to freeze their eggs as a New Year's resolution. Do all the tests necessary to check that your body is ready to go through this process. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to get your annual checkup.
I'm just showing you and just sharing with you, just getting you in the mindset of it because, some people want to do this. And I'm just saying, be careful.
Even if you're under 40, go get your mammograms. You will thank me later. You're welcome. It's really not that bad. I turned on Lose Yourself on my speakers and had on my dual monitor another lady injecting in her belly just to feel like I was not alone in this whole process. Once you get in the rhythm, you will get used to it. Oh, and make sure you have enough space in your fridge because some of the medication will need to be refrigerated. You don't know exactly when your body will be ready. Once the clinic determined that my eggs are at its peak,
See how
they
they
gave me instructions for my trigger shot. You take
see
trigger
how
shots
they
exactly
make it
36
sound
hours
like
before your surgery. And my trigger shot was at 2:45 a.m.
they make it sound so smooth and easy. They make it sound so nice and oh, this is nothing. It's like going to the store, going to the corner and just come on home. That's how they make it sound. This is how they promote it all over the world. All over the world. But it's definitely a big money thing. And it can be dangerous as well. Yeah, it can be dangerous. So be careful for the young ladies who all about their career and don't care about family now. Just be careful. To the young men who have their woman maybe thinking about doing this, yeah, be in her ear, do the research as much as you could, and make sure you're not in a percentage of bong. All right. Much love and respect. Hope to see you guys soon. Please chime in, like the page, share the page, and press follow on this page. Thank you so much for listening. May God continue to bless each and every last one of you. Peace. D.A.P. D.A.P. Podcast.